Welcome to Classical 95.9 WCRI's Conducting Conversations with your host, Mike Mano. 1 hour of music and conversation with notable people in the arts, bringing you the stories of how music has impacted their lives. The show will give a behind-the-scenes look at the guest's background, interests, or special project.
Conducting Conversations is brought to you by Roberts Musical Instruments. From sheet music and brand name instruments to rentals, repairs, lessons, and more. Roberts Musical Instruments is your key to musical success. Call 823-5459. That's 823-5459.
And now here's your host, Mike Mano.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conducting Conversations. Tonight we have a representative of Music on the Hill once again with us, an organization that we've been proud to support for many years now. The executive director, Emily Atkinson, is back. Welcome back, Emily.
Hi, Mike. Thank you for having me.
It's always nice to see you once again and catch up on what's been happening with this great organization. Now, I think you're one of the first festivals of the season, the summer season, right?
That is correct. Every year, Music on the Hill is proud to be the first classical festival of the summer. We start right around Memorial Day, and we run through mid-June. This year, our festival offers 7 unique programs in Cranston, Warwick, and East Greenwich. Our home is the West Bay, and all of our concert details are at musiconthehillri.org.
So Music on the Hill, I always think of when I didn't know any better years ago. For me, growing up in the Providence area, hey, the hill means Federal Hill.
Exactly. Is it Federal Hill? Is it College Hill? This name goes back to our birth in East Greenwich as the hill over Main Street, where St. Luke's Church was our first home venue and where we still perform many of our concerts. So I should say I'm honored to be here on behalf of Music on the Hill's artistic director, John Pellegrino, and our ensemble of musicians and all of our volunteers. So I just want to spread the arms open wide there and acknowledge everyone behind this organization.
It is an organization like a lot of things. It's not just you. There's lots of people doing lots of little things and some big things. And I know John has been very involved. And I believe he kind of took over from...
He did. The organization was founded in the 1970s and operated as a presenting organization for many years out of St. Luke's. And then in 2007, John and several other musicians who had grown up in Rhode Island but went on to careers in other parts of the country came back home and said, we'd like to reorganize this organization as an annual festival, a chamber music festival. And that was greeted warmly by the board of directors, and that was back in 2007. So we're coming up on our 20th year, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were only 2 when it started.
Well, it took me a while to find my way in, but yes.
No, I don't think we've ever spent a lot of time talking about your background. Are you a musician also?
Oh, I'm a singer.
A singer?
Some folks would say singers are a different kind of musician.
We are. We are.
But that I do for me. It's
interesting
yes.
because as an a cappella singer myself, singing in a quartet, I always love it when people come up to me and say, and you have no music. I said, hopefully we still make music, but differently. So you're a singer and been singing all your life?
Yeah, I think so.
There you go, right from the beginning.
I'm a choral singer.
Okay. I can remember when I was in the first grade, we had to stand up and read something in a circle. And the teacher looked at me and she said, Michael, we're not supposed to be singing, we're supposed to be reading. So that started at an early age for me.
Wow.
So anyway, well, it's good that you're involved. And how did you ever find Music on the Hill? How did you become executive director?
Oh, my goodness. This is a long story. It doesn't have to be a long story. I had been doing marketing and publicity work for arts organizations in Rhode Island since the late 90s. And Trinity Rep is one of my big clients, and the Rhode Island Philharmonic. And I think it was through some work I had been doing for the Philharmonic that members of the Music on the Hill board found me and said, we're looking for someone to help us with our marketing, publicity, and fundraising, and that was a good while ago.
Yeah, well, things have been going well
Things
since
grow.
and continue to grow.
Thank you.
And that's the good news. All right, why don't we get to our first piece of music? What have you brought with you
Yeah,
today?
so we're coming up on our first concert May 29th in Cranston. That concert is called Love Notes, and it features the piano power couple, Kimi Kawashima and Jason Hardink. Kimi and Jason perform and teach and tour from their home in Utah and return every few years to us, revisiting Jason's roots in Rhode Island. So May 29th's concert includes the Brahms Hungarian dances and some Schubert and some of the Rhode Island-born composer Carl Schimmel and music of French composers. This is what we're going to hear now. We're going to hear Ravel's Pavane for a Dead Princess.
This year, Music on the Hill, like a lot of organizations, are taking part in the celebration of America's 250, correct?
That's right. Music on the Hill traditionally offers a pretty wide range of classical chamber music and also pops. So we're celebrating America's 250th birthday with the Hometown Heroes concert, which features the Kentish Guards Fife and Drum Corps on the lawn at Clouds Hill on Flag Day, Sunday, June 14th.
Perfect.
Yeah, most of us have really only caught glimpses of these fine musicians of the Fife and Drum Corps. They are Rhode Island's living legacy, really, one of them in parades. In this concert, we get to meet the members of the Guards and hear about their fascinating history. This outdoor concert at Clouds Hill is always a great family event. And there's kids and students are admitted free. And folks are reminded to bring lawn chairs, and picnics are welcome. And of course, if the weather doesn't cooperate, we have a secret plan for how to stay dry. But it's going to be a really fun day at Clouds Hill with the Kentish Guards Fife and Drum Corps.
All right.
So the other Pops concert that we have is our Broadway concert, Sunday, June 7. People are excited about this one, too. So we have Riverside Brass Quintet, which is an exciting young ensemble from New York City, and they will share a program of Broadway tunes ranging from George M. Cohan and Gershwin to Wicked and In the Heights and maybe Happy Ending, which won the Tony Award last year. So now we can hear a Broadway medley from the Riverside Brass Quintet.
Excellent. And see, you snuck in a little trivia there for some people, because in Rhode Island history, George M. Cohan.
That's right. That's right.
There you go.
There's a statue of him in Fox Point in Providence.
We'll give that a listen, then take a short break and be back with more. Music on the Hill is the subject of tonight's Conducting Conversations. I'm Mike Mano, very pleased to be sitting with Emily Atkinson, who is the executive director. And fortunately for me, Emily has been around for a few years now, so this is kind of like old hat.
Old hat.
And great to see you again.
Nice to be here, Mike. Thank you.
It's always fun to catch up on what's going on, and occasionally in the past we've had John Pellegrino on with us, but he doesn't live in this area, right?
John spends most of his time in his home base of Columbus, Ohio, and also several beautiful Western locations for other chamber music festivals. But he comes back to Rhode Island every year for Music on the Hills Festival, and as often as he can through the year. His family is here.
This is where he grew up.
Yeah, exactly. He's a Warwick boy.
Another great thing that Rhode Island has is
Yeah.
Pellegrino family and music on the hill. All right, let's get back to where we left off. But before we do that, I suppose we should just give everyone information on how they can get to the website.
Thank you for prompting me with that, Mike. So our website is musiconthehillri.org, and there you will find all of the concert details for the 7 concerts that we are programming from May 29 through June 14 this year, plus information about our annual scholarship for young people, which we'll talk about in a minute. All of our ensemble members, artist bios and photographs. There's all kinds of good stuff there. So musiconthehillri.org, and links to buy tickets as well.
There you go. There's nothing better than a good, up-to-date website. I
That's
can't
a
tell
fact.
you how many groups I work with that are like, go to their website and they say, welcome to our concert in 2023.
Oh, gosh. Well, we're all doing our best. But
We
yes.
are doing our
Yes.
best. Most of them are volunteers, and so it's a long way to go there. Let's get back to the program of what you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, well, every Music on the Hill program is built with variety in mind. That's a real driving force for John Pellegrino, our artistic director. So no matter what level of familiarity you bring when you come to one of our concerts, you'll always hear something surprising. You'll always hear something for the first time. So our June 1st concert this year is called Generations, because along with our ensemble of grown-ups, there are special performances by our young scholarship winners from this year, pianist Ian Lynn and cellist Alejandro Quintero Cashor. This is going to be such a treat for the musicians and the audience alike. People really get excited to see these young performers so that they can follow their careers going forward. It's
and
really
they know
great.
there's a future coming. right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And in this same concert, one of the grown-ups that we'll hear is guitarist Nick Galuses, another Warwick boy. He grew up in Warwick, and now he runs the classical guitar program at Eastman School of Music. Really an incredible story. So we'll hear some of the pieces that Nick will play in this concert. They're preludes by Villa Lobos.
one of the things that's always amazing to me is the flavor and the different type of pieces that are involved in Music on the Hills Festival. And you can go from one, hearing something that might appeal to everyone, and then something that's a little eclectic, and so forth, and back and forth. And
yeah, it's really an important part of what we do. I think that you're not hearing concerts that are as wide-ranging and as adventurous as some of our concerts. So
there you go.
it's important to the audience. So we heard a moment ago guitarist Nick Galusis playing two preludes by Villa-Lobos. And Nick is also featured in June 10th's concert with another former Rhode Islander, Anne-Marie Gabriel, who is now a leader of the Los Angeles Philharmonic's oboe section.
Oh.
Big time.
There you go.
So all of our concert details, again, are at musiconthehillri.org. And this year, our ever-popular all-Bach concert will be on June 2nd. And we'll be hearing Bach's Suite No. 4, performed by cellist Trevor Handy, a fan favorite, and also some other glorious pieces that will carry listeners away. There's really nothing like Bach, particularly in today's chaotic world. Bach can really, really help us, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So coming up now, we'll hear a recording of another festival favorite, flutist Anthony Triunfo. He'll have 3 movements for us to hear now from the partita in A minor for solo flute.
Excellent. All right, we'll listen to those 3 pieces, then take a short break, and be back with more. Music on the Hill is the subject of tonight's Conducting Conversations. I'm Mike Mano, sitting with Emily Atkinson, who is the Executive Director of Music on the Hill. We heard some beautiful music in that last segment, Emily.
Thank you, Mike. That really was beautiful. That was Anthony Triunfo playing 3 movements of Bach's Partita for solo flute in A minor. Anthony is also featured in our June 4th concert playing Vivaldi's Night Concerto. That concert, June 4th, has a big headliner, The Four Seasons by Vivaldi, which features the virtuoso violinist Anton Miller and an all-star chamber orchestra. Concert details are at musiconthehillri.org and a link for tickets.
There you go. You had me excited there for a second when you said Four Seasons. I thought they were coming back to life. Oh, you're talking about that Four Seasons.
That
okay.
Four Seasons,
All
which
right.
is probably one of the most familiar chamber classical music pieces in the world. But honestly, how many of us have heard it live? And this performance will be amazing at Immaculate Conception in Cranston on June 4th.
Okay, and multiple concerts coming up. Tell us about those.
There are 7 concerts in our festival. 7 concerts in East Greenwich, Cranston, and Warwick, May 29 through June 14th. Tickets are just $30, and they're free for students with ID, which includes your kids and grandkids. Details are at musiconthehillri.org, where you can link to Eventbrite to buy tickets in advance if you like, or you can buy tickets at the door with cash or check.
Wow, you still take cash?
We sure do. Sometimes cash is the simplest way to go.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's...
let's listen now to another sample of Anthony Triunfo's skill and talent on the flute. We're not supposed to have favorites, but I must say that I am probably most intrigued for our whole festival by the title of this piece. It is by Ian Clark. It is called Zoom Tube.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's hear that.
Emily, it looks like we have time for two more pieces of music. Do you have a short one we can squeeze in here?
Yeah, good, I do. So let's listen to one of the piano four hands pieces that Jason and Kimmy will play in our first concert, May 29th. This is Brahms' Hungarian Dance number 7.
Emily, I want to thank you so much for coming in once again and bringing your news to our audience about Music on the Hill. Might be a good time to recap what we've been talking about.
Oh, thank you, Mike. I want to make sure that I remember to take time to thank our generous donors who make it possible for us to serve the community with chamber music and our education programs, such as our scholarship that we talked about earlier, and our annual concert for elementary school students. The Rhode Island State Council on the Arts, RISCA, supports Music on the Hill as well through an appropriation of the Rhode Island General Assembly and the National Endowment for the Arts. RISCA's support and advocacy, as I'm sure you know, and I'm sure your listeners know, RISCA really makes the Ocean State a better place to live. So let's thank RISCA.
Does a lot of things for a lot of organizations.
Absolutely. So to recap our festival for this year, Music on the Hill is offering 7 programs in the West Bay. That's in East Greenwich, in Cranston, and in Warwick. It's May 29th through June 14th. And your listeners can find all the details at musiconthehill.org.
There you go. All right. And we have a piece that I'm interested to hear that does not ring a bell with me. But,
yeah, we're to finish out. We're going to hear another sample of what the Riverside Brass Quintet can do.
Okay.
That's our young brass quintet that's coming from New York City for our Broadway concert. This piece is called Jive for Five. It's by Paul Nagel.
All right, Jive for Five. Wow, okay. I'm looking forward to that. Thanks again, Emily. Appreciate all your efforts.
Thank you so much for having me, Mike. It's always great to be here.
And the rest of you, we'll see you next time on Conducting Conversations. Conducting Conversations was brought to you by Roberts Musical Instruments, using music in the arts to keep your child educated, entertained, and having fun. Roberts Musical Instruments is your key to musical success. Call 823-5459. That's 823-5459.